What's up, everyone, and welcome to Metalcore Nerds, the podcast that combines pop culture and metalcore. I am your host, Sean Mott, and today we're talking about a movie that I saw called Venom, Let There Be Carnage. I have two very special guests with me. First off, I have Billy Sweet, my co-host from the Falcon the Winter Soldier after show. How are you doing, my friend? It's good. It's good to hear. I'm glad you're here. And also, Ted Lasso fans, I was just on his show. Enjoy the show, talking all about Ted Lasso season 2. So check that out. I love Ted Lasso. As all should. If you haven't watched Ted Lasso, watch Ted Lasso. It's the best show on TV. And also, for a first time ever to Metalcore Nerds, Chris from Nominee, welcome to the show. How you doing?
What's up, dude? What's up, y'all? Good, man. Good to be here.
Yeah, I'm happy to have you on here. 100%.
Yeah.
We spent hours on the phone at one point when I was in my past life of a booking agent, learning about each other's lives. So it's good to have a conversation about pop culture in front of people on the internet.
Yeah. It's honestly good to talk to some people about some shit that isn't music in our scene, so I'm really here for it.
About time.
Hell yeah. So a few housekeeping things, if you will. If you are new to the podcast, thank you for joining. And if you are old to the podcast, thanks for coming back. It's always good to have nerds in here talking with us. And if you are watching or listening, if you're not catching this live, do me a favor, screenshot wherever you're listening to it or watching it, post it on Instagram, tag Metalcore Nerds, and follow Metalcore Nerds on all social media. The Twitter's been very good for the podcast lately. There's been a lot of interaction, so the more interaction I can get on that, the better. It's always fun to talk to people about this stuff. And same, if you want to get more in depth in the community, you can join the Facebook group or the Discord channel. The Discord channel is a little bit of a leg up because I have spoiler channels for stuff that's new. There's a big spoiler rule in the group because, you know, some people can't see it the minute things come out, and Twitter is the worst with spoiling things anyway. So I try to avoid that in the group. So we have a spoiler channel in the Discord. I actually had a Venom 2 and I couldn't see it opening weekend, so I couldn't even open up that tab for like 5 days. Didn't want to be spoiled. I didn't get spoiled either, so good for me.
Nice.
Good for me, I guess. That's it's hard. Usually with movies, except for Eternals, I guess Variety just spoiled the post-credit scene because that's what.
Serious?
Yeah. They post after the premiere. They posted the post-credit scene. People are shitting on them hard now for good reason.
Wow.
But usually with the movies, stuff's pretty good about not spoiling things for the most part. But TV shows, there's no rules. As soon as it's out, spoiled. That's like
for real.
That's fucked up, man.
Yeah, it's very lame. I'm very bummed that an outlet like Variety just straight. Well, it's not Variety as a whole. It was the one guy from Variety, but still.
Yeah, but it's not like he doesn't know.
Yeah,
you know,
you should know better.
There's etiquette.
Exactly. It was very strange. I don't know.
And the movie's not even out yet.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, we got 2 weeks until normal people see it. You know. They don't even the craziest part is you can't even critics can't even talk about it a full review. They can just say their broad thoughts. They can't say anything in detail until like Monday. It's like the reaction embargo's up, and then I don't remember when the review embargo's up, but that's when people can post their non-spoiler reviews to help hype people up more.
Interesting.
Yeah. It's wild.
There's already reviews out for Dune as well. I started seeing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I haven't seen. I personally haven't seen any reviews yet because I don't want to know what people think about it. I want to go into that like pretty fresh.
Yeah, I'm going to see that tomorrow. So
I think I'm going to as well.
Yeah,
I'll probably when I get home from my trip, I probably will as well.
Yeah. Hans Zimmer, if Hans Zimmer does anything,
typically
go see it.
So we got a comment in the chat. We got a comment in the chat here. Sorry to interrupt. Magazines and websites need to get clicks and traffic. They don't really care if it causes an uproar. That just makes people talk about. Yeah, I mean, I agree, but it was Variety, not just like a like a click,
Yeah.
not like a clickbaity, because I like comicbook.com. I love Brandon Davis, but they are a very clickbaity site a lot of the times. And you know, when it's, but that's like, it's not even about the clicks and everything like that. It's more so they went against the rules of being a critic. Like you can't even do a review. So why would you reveal a full post credit? Like they'll probably never be allowed to a Marvel premiere ever again, I would imagine.
Well, that guy probably got fired.
That too, probably, yeah. You're probably not wrong.
And if he hasn't, he probably will.
He probably
I know they're still catching heat from it. But I mean, to that person's point, like, that's probably why he did it. That's probably why they did it. You know? For the clicks, for the clout. It's all for the clout, always.
Always for the clout.
It's annoying, man.
Some bullshit.
But we're here to talk about Venom. Let there sort of be carnage. That's what I'm gonna call it. But first, before we get into this movie, I wanted to hear your overall thoughts on Venom 1, because that is a pretty divisive movie. The movie made a fuck ton of money, but it was very divisive. A lot of people compared it to the mid 2000s superhero movies, which is fair. It's fair. I would say it's fair.
I think I agree with it too.
Yeah. So we'll go with Chris first. What was your overall thoughts and feelings of Venom 1?
Honestly, it was my first time really going into a Marvel movie, like knowing the beef with Sony was so toxic, and that there was so much going on with that. I was just like, I have no idea what I'm getting into with this at this point. And I kind of liked it. I kind of liked it that way, you know, when we didn't know who was allowed to be where.
Right.
And so I went into it, and I was just so pleasantly surprised. I thought the trailers looked awful, to be perfectly honest. I thought the trailers looked terrible. I thought the CGI looked terrible. I still think the CGI looks terrible, but
yeah.
It's just such a fun movie. And you really don't have the dichotomy like Eddie and Venom did in the first one anywhere else in like any of these movies. I feel like in the grand scheme of things, since we are going to get into spoilers, it does kind of fit in the box with the new movies because of the humor, and it has its own little like niche in that particular brand of movie. But I loved it. I love Eddie Brock. I loved Tom Hardy's Eddie Brock. I thought he was incredible. So like right out the gate, it had a ton of bad reviews, and I had like I guess I just had the bar set pretty low.
Yeah.
And I went into it, and because my bar was set so low, I was blown away. You know? And I ended up loving it. I ended up loving what they did with bringing in Cletus at the end of it. I thought that was cool, even though it was a post-credit scene, right?
Yep. That was the post-credit scene.
When they brought in Cletus Cassidy. So my only beef with that, number one, the hair was weird.
Wig was not the greatest.
And also No, very, very strange. Like he had to have been shooting something else. There's no excuse. But honestly, all around, I thought it was great. And it made me really excited for another one. So I think they did a killer job.
Hell yeah. Billy, what was your first thoughts on Venom 1?
Yeah, kind of the same thing that Chris said. Like, I thought the trailers were cool. I was like, all right, this should be fun. And you know, I love Spider-Man growing up. Venom was one of my favorite villains in the Spider-Man universe. Having him for 5 minutes in Spider-Man 3 was a huge disappointment. So for me, I was like, no dig to Topher Grace, but he did not do a very convincing job. But I thought that having Tom Hardy as Eddie Brock, I was like, okay, I can see that for sure. Because I've seen many other films that Tom Hardy has been in before, and I'm like, he's a great actor. I'm sure he's going to bring this character to life in some way, shape, and form. So I didn't, the same thing kind of, I didn't really have like a high bar set for it because I was just like, I don't really know what to expect. I know I'm going to have a fun time. It's going to be entertaining. And I was very entertained by the first one. It's not the greatest movie I've ever seen, but it was very, very fun. You know, I enjoyed a lot of parts of it. I liked the comedy between Venom and Eddie Brock. I liked Riz Ahmed as the villain, I guess. I liked him.
Good.
Yeah, I like him a lot as an actor. So
I love Riz Ahmed.
You know, I like Michelle Williams as well, so that was always a treat as well. But yeah, I mean, like overall, I had a good time with it. And same thing that Chris said, like once we got introduced to Cletus Cassidy at the end, looking like Sideshow Bob from The Simpsons, I was like, I hope the hair's different. But other than that, yeah, I thought the first film was great. I had a good time with it.
Yeah, I'm kind of along the same wavelength with Venom 1. So Venom and Carnage are two of my favorite characters ever. Probably behind like Batman but from when I was a kid. It was Batman, Spider-Man, and like, but I loved Venom and Carnage like almost even more than Spider-Man from the animated series. Because that's like one of the first arcs in the animated series is like the Venom and the Carnage show.
Yep.
It's like right out the gate.
And that's where I was introduced to it as well, yeah.
Yeah, so
same.
I saw Tom Hardy and I was like, okay, Tom Hardy's awesome. This could be cool. And that was before I was really familiar with Riz Ahmed. Looking back now, I'm like, wow, they wasted the fuck out of Riz Ahmed. Wow.
Yeah.
So that
it like a literal like Oscar contender.
Yes.
He just botched his role.
Yeah. So it was the same as you guys. I had fun. The story itself, I felt like it didn't find the footing, and that's what I'll give Venom Let There Be Carnage. We'll get into our thoughts with that in a second here, but it was, I feel like the tone was a little off, kind of like the Amazing Spider-Man movies where they have so many mixed tones that didn't really hit together in one.
Yeah.
Because they had kind of like the weird body horror, goofy, crazy comedy with Eddie and Venom, and then they had like the serious Life Foundation stuff happening at the same time, and they didn't really it was almost like these two movies happening simultaneously, and at the end they just crashed in a terrible CGI blob clusterfuck, which was not good. But I loved Tom Hardy in the role. The whole Michelle Williams as Anne angle was pretty cool. And that was my big takeaway. I was like, I'm excited for Venom in the future. That was my biggest thing. So I was like, I had fun with it. It wasn't the best movie. You know, it doesn't hold a candle to like an MCU movie or something like that. But I had fun in it. So
yeah.
So we're all on the same page pretty much with that. Okay, so let me go into...
I don't understand how anybody wasn't. Like, there are people that were, like, bashing this movie, and I'm like, yeah, but it was fun, like, you cynical prick. Like, it's
people
a
just
good time.
hate stuff to hate stuff.
I can't find enjoyment.
Yeah,
it's this,
I agree with that.
We live in this new day where everyone's an expert in everything.
Oh, God, yeah.
So now everyone expects every movie to be, like...
up to their standards,
like a Martin Scorsese movie or something. I don't know, or like an Oscar contending movie, and it's weird.
No diss to Martin Scorsese, but not every movie he's done is fucking good, man.
Fair,
no,
that's fair.
One. A lot of his movies are very good, but at the same time, like I think when people go into these movies, like the big pop culture blockbuster stuff, like Star Wars, MCU, anything like that, anything the DCEU, everybody just wants their favorite franchise to just be the best. It's kind of like Game of Thrones. Everybody thought that the ending of Game of Thrones was going to be this life-changing, huge thing, and it was the biggest fucking disappointment of all time. So but to Sean's point, yeah, everybody just kind of,
and everyone just likes to not have fun with things. I don't know. It's we live in this weird thing where everything, which is fine. You can have criticism of things. That's totally fine, but it's I don't know. I watch movies to enjoy them, so I'm gonna do that. I don't know. It's like the way I rate movies is like, it's kind of like I'll give it like a 3 out of 5 if it was fine. Like I didn't hate it. There was things I liked, but overall it was whatever. And then like a 3.5 is pretty much like a movie that was just like fun, like Mortal Kombat or Godzilla vs. Kong.
Totally.
Like the story doesn't even matter. It's not supposed to fucking matter. You're there to watch the people get killed or Godzilla and Kong fight each other. That's what you're there for.
I literally saw two things. Number one, I saw when Godzilla versus Kong came out, somebody literally said the story was crap, and people in the comments on this Facebook, they were like, "Why would you go to a Godzilla movie for the story?" And it's the same thing with, like, I don't know if you guys have seen the new Halloween Kills movie yet, but like some people were saying like, "Oh, this movie is really crappy story," and it's like, it's a slasher movie. Why would you go for the story? Like,
it's called Halloween Kills. So I mean,
Honestly,
there's people who don't like Halloween Kills, but they're like avid horror fans and love the Halloween franchise, and their reasons for not liking it are valid. And but you're like, yeah, man, story is really weird in this it's the slasher horror movie, and it's like
my big thing with this with the storyline with it, not to get too
I haven't
like,
seen it, but so I can't really say anything about it.
I'm not going to throw anything out there yet. Then they introduce a bunch of storylines that are just like way out there.
Yeah,
it's just the movie is very unhinged, like not in a funny, cool way.
Fair. That's very fair.
Yeah.
But yeah, and anything at 4 and above is pretty much, 4 is like very, very good, and then like 4.55 like, to me, perfect movies. Doesn't mean they're perfect movies, but to me, I enjoyed them. And that's like, it's like I would never knock on someone for not liking someone, but when people are trying to prove to people who like something why they shouldn't like it, that's when I'm like, yo, chill. Like, you can have discourse and have constructive criticism of why you like something and why you don't like something, but when you're like, no, this movie sucks and this is why, and trying to almost like change their mind, that's when I'm like, chill out, just chill.
Yeah.
Sequel trilogy of Star Wars.
Let's not even go down that road. That's a bumpy road.
Okay. Yeah, I know. I know it is, but it's the perfect example.
So we don't have the time.
No, we don't have the time. So regardless of our thoughts that we're about to talk about in Venom 2, its box office success is very undeniable. So it has already made 169 million domestically and 285 million worldwide. It was actually still the #1 movie worldwide. Halloween Kills was the #1 movie domestically, but it opened up in a few new markets, which made it the #1 movie internationally and domestic combined, which is pretty impressive. And I think it's on week 3. So that's pretty big. It's about to, I think it's number 4 for domestic box office of all of 2021. It's about to take over Black Widow, and it might take over Shang-Chi, depending if it still has legs going forward. Now, there is a lot of big movies coming out in the next few weeks. Dune this week, Eternals in 2 weeks. So it could not make it there, but there's still a big possibility of it passing those 2 movies. So it's undeniable that these movies make a fuck ton of money. The first one made like $800 million or something like that.
Jeez.
So yeah, these movies are they make the money, and the opening weekend of this movie made more than the opening weekend of the first movie, and it was during a fucking pandemic. Like that is crazy.
That's pretty wild.
Yeah, that's
and
fucking insane.
I think it had the highest opening weekend of an October movie ever. I'm pretty positive.
Wow.
So if anyone's being like, why are they PG-13? Well, that's probably why. Because and it might have something to do that was 90 minutes, so you can fit a lot of showtimes with a 90-minute movie. Just fucking cranking them out, man.
For sure.
Cranking them out. So
that's very fair.
We're gonna get into our thoughts. I kind of want to do a brief summary of the movie. So we're gonna get into major spoilers here. It says spoiler discussion, but I'll give you the warning anyway. So basically, this movie picks up right where the first one takes off. That post-credit scene that we talked about, Cletus Cassidy meeting with Eddie Brock. They form a relationship where he wants to have Eddie write about his story, as he put it. So he kind of starts releasing more information about his murders before he got arrested and put on death row. That gives Eddie a lot of fame in the journalist world. He starts making money, but you can tell, I do love how like anxious, and you can like tell that there's like something fucked up with him pretty much this whole movie. I do love that aspect of Tom Hardy and Eddie Brock. But really what Cletus is trying to do is send a message to his long lost love, Francis, aka Shriek, who is stuck in Ravencroft. And it leads to this whole thing where Patrick Mulligan, who is a detective, gets super mad because Eddie's getting all these scoops and the police aren't, and he's not really keeping him informed. At one point, Eddie and Venom have a fight, which is pretty funny. And so then they break up, for lack of better terms. Crushes his motorcycle, throws his TV out, and they separate for a little bit. Cletus Cassidy. Also, I've skipped this part, but I'm going back to it now. One last time before Cletus Cassidy gets killed, Eddie visits him one more time, and he bites him, and somehow that's how he gets the spawn of a symbiote, by biting him and ingesting some of his blood. Really fucking stupid, but whatever. We'll move on from that. And as he's getting the lethal injection, the Carnage symbiote comes to life and saves him. He breaks out of jail, breaks Francis out of Ravencroft. Then they go to this church, and then Anne helps Eddie reunite with Venom. Then they fight. Then Carnage somehow, for some reason, wants to kill Venom. No real reason, just does. And all Cletus cares about is being with Francis. They bicker, and then that's how Venom beats him, with the help of Shriek and them not being together. And then you have to say lethal protector like 5 times, and then they kill Cletus, and they wind up on a beach. And that's the movie.
Couldn't have said it any better, dude.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
The beach, and that's it.
So I'm gonna break it up into things we liked and things we didn't like. So I'll start off with things I liked, and then we'll go down the panel. So one of the big things I have to say, the CGI, a vast improvement over the first. When the symbiotes were fighting, you could actually tell what the fuck was going on. Carnage looked awesome. I'll give them that. The action was pretty cool. I'll get into more reason why I said pretty cool later. The comedy I actually really liked. I laughed out loud a number of times. I did like how it was funny. It kind of embraced that from the first movie, which I liked from that first movie. People were kind of thrown off by that, and Venom in the comics is really weird. And like how they are in these movies. So I love that part of it personally. I liked the comedy. And then, just like the first one, the relationship between Eddie and Venom. That was the biggest part of this movie. It's the whole focal point. I remember the scene, a picture of the scene with Venom's at the party, and he has the glow sticks all over him. And people were like making fun of it before the movie came out. And honestly, that scene was one of the best in the movie.
It was fucking fantastic.
Yeah.
Everyone was making fun of it, and I was like, as soon as it happened, I was like, wow, that's like honestly one of the best scenes. Them breaking up was a really good scene that I talked about in the summary. Very, very funny. But that's about all I liked. So, Billy, you can take that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm on the same boat as you. I really enjoy, like, a lot of the things I like from the first movie transferred over to the second one. And in the first movie, I didn't expect it to be as funny as it was. So that was kind of jarring for a little bit. But after getting used to the humor in the first one, I went into the second one being like, okay, it's going to be funny, it's going to be stupid, it's going to be silly. So I embraced that from the first one to this one. So I enjoyed that. I liked Tom Hardy. I really liked Woody Harrelson's performance. I thought he did a pretty decent job. I think the CGI as well, bigger improvement. I thought both Venom and Carnage, when they were in their actual forms, looked fucking badass. I liked how they used one F word. I liked how we saw Venom eat one person's actual head. That was cool. The action set pieces were cool. The action sequences were cool. Comedy was funny. Yeah, that's kind of it. I guess.
Oh man.
Chris,
yeah,
you're
I
up.
get that, dude. I mean, we're all there.
Yeah.
Honestly, man, like, there were things that I did like about it that I didn't really expect to. Like, I mean, I think the relationship between Eddie, Venom, Dan, and Anne is really funny and like wholesome.
It is funny, yeah.
Dude.
So I really enjoyed that. And again, that's going to what you said, like the comedy thing, but like I didn't expect to like Dan's character going into the movie. Yeah. I didn't expect like Venom to inhabitate Miss Chen. Like I like
Oh yeah,
it,
that one's pretty dope.
it's just like,
That
you
was
know,
cool.
there were some like nice, like cool surprises. And other than that, that's pretty much. I thought, dude, gotta disagree, Billy. I think Woody Harrelson was pretty bad. I think he was pretty bad.
I'm with Chris. I
That's fine.
thought he was very not good, and I was like
Okay.
shocked. I was shocked by it. I was like, what is he doing? That's what I thought the whole time.
I will admit this, and as I have mentioned on the podcast many times on Metalcore Nerds, I've read literally, when I say I've never read a comic in my life, I've read 2 Spider-Man comics, so I forgot that part. But the point I'm making is a lot of the diehard comic book fans will probably say like, oh, they didn't like that about Cletus Cassidy in the movie. I had no idea what they were like, because
I'm not even talking about that. I just
comic books that I
meant his acting in general.
I mean, like, the way I look at it is this. I think like the movie knew what it was supposed to be. It knew it was supposed to be like a really dumb, stupid movie. You know what I mean? So for me, if the team going into this is like, hey, we're just gonna have fun with this movie, just do whatever you want. Like, I'm sure that's not what happened, but like for me, I try to look at it from like all directions. Like when you watch, like, I know this is so off topic, but did you guys see that new horror movie, Malignant?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like that movie was so bad, but I loved it because it was so bad. You know what I mean?
Dude,
yeah.
I
like that. I like that movie too, but that also had a problem with tone.
Yeah, too many. Like, I mean, how does it go from the Insidious and the Conjuring to John Wick? How does it?
That part I liked. It was the thing that threw me off was the opening scene was so serious, so campy. And then the scene after with her and her boyfriend is immediately dead serious. And there was no in between. 100%. It was dead serious, campy, just back and forth.
Yeah.
So if it was just, if they embraced the camp, like a Scream or something like that the whole way through, and then it went John Wick at the end, I feel like it would have hit so much harder. But I enjoyed the movie was fun as hell. But
So,
the tone definitely threw me off for sure, yeah.
So my reasoning with why I didn't mind Woody Harrelson as what he portrayed on screen was because it reminded me of like a campy superhero villain. Like he was just like, you know, the evil, the evil overlord with like petting a cat, like fucking Dr. Evil. You know what I mean? Just like that's why
his outfit, everything.
Yes, exactly. He's just so flamboyant and just so out there. Like that to me was why I thought it was.
Yeah,
that's
fair. It was just, I don't know. I felt like Tom Hardy was acting, because a lot of people criticize Tom Hardy's acting in the movie, but I thought it was great personally. But I felt like he was up here, and then everyone else was like, wait, even Michelle Williams, an Oscar-nominated actress. I was like, what are you doing? And it's not their fault. It either had to do with the script or the direction or something.
Yeah,
it was something that had to do from another thing. But
I want to say Andy Serkis. This is the first film he's ever directed. Am I wrong?
He's done The Jungle Book and something else, I believe.
Oh, really?
I loved The Jungle Book.
The Jungle Book was great.
Stellar job.
Yeah, that movie.
I don't care what anybody says. Yeah.
No, that's a great movie. No, but I think it's just I mean, it's definitely script or direction. It's definitely one of the two, if not both at the same time. So
yeah.
And Delmastica Gaming, thank you for commenting so much in the chat. Very much appreciated. He brought up Carnage has always been rather campy, and that's fine. I'm not even talking about it being campy. I'm talking about I don't think his acting was good. That's all. It wasn't his some of the dialogue was borderline cringe. Pretty much everything Shriek said was awful. Terrible. No offense to the actress whatsoever, but her lines were god awful. And
he also said "Let there be carnage"
like
3 times.
He said carnage so many fucking times, and I was like, it was just as bad as Venom saying Lethal Protector. It's like, we get it. You're trying to, which is hilarious. It's like, are they trying to sell the Lethal Protector runs? Because funny enough, Marvel owns those, so Sony doesn't get a dime from that shit unless somehow their new deal cuts them in comics or something. But I don't think so. I think they just did a deal with toys for Spider-Man, and that's it.
So funny.
But here's what I kind of wish they did. I talked about Scream a little bit. but I kind of wish what they did for this movie is legitimately made it a horror movie, but made it a campy horror movie like Scream.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of funny parts in Scream, but when shit gets real, it gets real, and it's even worse because you know this element they couldn't really bring to it because Scream is so scary because it's her friends who want to kill her. That's like why it's so fucked up. But with this, he would obviously find out or know it was Cletus, and that would make it scary. But I kind of wish, and this would take away from their money probably if they made it R. But there's a lot of R movies that made a fuck ton of money. Deadpool, Joker, Logan. Like I think they can still make them. They can still make the money. So if they gave us actual Carnage, because the action scenes we got with him were cool, but I wish they just let him fucking go. And it was like a horror slasher movie of Carnage just murking people for fucking 60 minutes and just him just killing people. And then finally Venom beats him or something like that. Yeah. Like that would have been so sick. They keep the campy weirdness, but you add the serious tone to it that just makes Carnage look like how he's supposed to be. He's a fucking serial killer that gets a symbiote. He should be fucking crazy. And again, he did go crazy. The prison scene's pretty dope. Him breaking Ravencroft is pretty dope. I just wanted more of it. And they completely took us away from ever getting, I mean, maybe we'll get Carnage again, I guess, maybe. But they bit off Cletus's head. They killed one of Venom's biggest antagonists in a 90-minute fucking movie. And that's probably the thing that pissed me off the most. Yeah. I was like, they did my boy fucking dirty.
For sure.
I cannot believe it. Yeah. Again, could do a cool horror suspense film noir styled film with those characters. And it would be awesome. Like, this is kind of what I wish they would do. And they might retroactively do it, maybe. Now that we'll talk about the press credits more, but now that Spider-Man and Venom are obviously going to interact, I wish, and I know Sony was trying doing it and they made a ton of money and that's fine, but I liked it better when Venom was first the villain and then Carnage is kind of the reason he becomes, and he's not a full villain. Yeah. Anyway, regardless, he just kind of wants to kill Spider-Man. And that's like this whole goal. He's not like a full villain with this crazy plan to like take over the world. He just wants to kill Spider-Man. So I wish they kind of had that dynamic first, and then Carnage came along, and then we got the anti-hero being like, hey, we need to team up to take out fucking Carnage. Like the Maximum Carnage storyline. Yeah. But I am, we'll talk more about the future because I am excited for the future of Venom still. I started a little bit of what I didn't like. So Chris, any more you didn't like that you wanted to bring to the forefront?
I mean, other than Woody Harrelson, I would just say that we talked about the tones being wildly off. And I think that's like one of the biggest parts of it to me. And also the story development for like, there was no story arc for Cletus Cassidy. Like they gave you those like drawings of what he did as a kid. Yeah. That was bad in itself. But like you said, I wanted more. Like I wanted a reason to like fear him. To like I didn't feel anything when Carnage was on the screen. I was just like, okay, this is gonna end, the way it's gonna end, like the way that you would expect it to end. Yeah. And obviously them killing off Cletus Cassidy sucked. I did love the "fuck this guy" line. Although, again, so in a PG-13 movie, you can use your one F word.
One fuck.
One. And I love that they decided to use it there. And Billy, I think it kind of speaks to what you were saying about it not taking itself too seriously. Yeah. So I guess I kind of had to add that in, but just to say that, like, I don't like the way that they've rushed the story. And like, this story could have been told in a 2.5-hour movie if there was more like meat and potatoes there, but they just chose to ignore all of it and just push through. Yeah. And that, pretty much that bummed me out. Yeah. But again, what you were saying, like looking forward to the future, like I think seeing this character in that universe is going to just be such a pleasant surprise. I think it's going to be incredible because I think we're going to have the the MCU writers, who I think are fucking fantastic.
Same.
You know, for the most part, there's cringy one-liners every now and then, but good God, not 15 of them like there was in Carnage.
God,
You
no.
know?
Yeah.
So, you know, a lot I liked and disliked, but I think more than anything, I'm just kind of like looking forward to the future of
I feel that.
seeing Venom in that context.
Yeah.
Billy, before you give your thoughts, Sam chimed in the chat to say Kat Denning's here to say Venom was corny.
Hell yeah. That's awesome.
You can always count on Sam for the zings, the zingers. All right, Billy. Any other things you want to add to?
So, yeah, I mean, like, you know, first off, I want to say that I enjoyed the movie, and you know, I try not to talk bad about movies that I like, even though that there are some elements of the movie I didn't like. One, obviously, I hated the fact that it was 90 minutes long. It was way too short. I didn't like that. I didn't like that it wasn't rated R. It wasn't the end all be all for me because it was PG-13. Like, it's fine. You can get away with a lot of things in PG-13 movies, like violence wise.
Oh yeah, for sure.
In a lot of PG-13 movies now, you can show a lot of blood. You can show some pretty graphic violence. I don't really care about like swearing all that much, but like, imagine we got a Deadpool type model for Venom. Imagine if Venom just kept saying fuck all over town. You know what I mean? And actually him ripping people's heads off with a lot of gore. Like, that would have been cool. Again, it wasn't the end all be all for me to not go see these movies. I don't know. I do feel like what Chris said, it was just rushed. There was really no development. In both Eddie and in Cletus. But regardless of all that, I honestly, like, that's kind of it, you know. Like, I just wish it was a longer movie. I wish there was more development. I wish there was just a little bit more. I guess the tone of the movie, like, for me, like, I didn't really have a problem with. But however, after what you guys were saying, I do kind of wish now, retroactively thinking, like, oh, it would be kind of cool if they had like a lot more serious moments, because I think it would just. Because I mean, like, I don't know. I think Venom is one of my favorite villains, like, of all time.
Yeah.
And some people might not think he is one, but for me, I've always known him as a villain. So for me, it's like, it would have been a little bit cooler if they took the movie a little bit more seriously, just a little bit. So
he scared the shit out of me as a kid.
Yeah.
Like,
and that's when he
again, going back to what you were saying. And like, there's no reason for him to want to kill Spider-Man. He just wants to. And as a kid, I was like, oh my God, why? Like, that's kind of wild. You know?
There's literally no reason. And the craziest part about it is when he first attaches to Eddie, this dude goes to a church. Billy, this is what happens in the comics. This dude goes to a church to blow his fucking brains out. And the symbiote comes on him. And he's just like, let's go. So this dude is really about to just blow his brains out, and then gets the symbiote. And he's like, let's fucking go.
Wow.
So yeah, and actually now in the comics, Donny Cates run has done an amazing job of making him a hero and a redeemable hero. But it's a huge arc. Like, it is like a full thing, and there's even parts with like the Avengers in it, and he's like kind of a proto Avenger, but not really. And like Cap like shakes his hand and says good job and stuff. It's like so well done. I highly recommend, even if you've never read a comic, Billy, I think you can get it in a full book now, the whole Venom Donny Cates run. And Sam bought this run for me, and it's what got me into comics, and I cannot recommend it enough. Sam said the chicken thing was also corny. The whole movie was like you procrastinating doing all your final project for school and handed a bunch of C+ material. That's kind of harsh, but fair. I mean, it was whatever. I don't know.
I love Sonny and Cher.
I can't say I can't say I cared about it or didn't care about it.
No, we pretty much got duped into seeing like a buddy comedy.
Yeah, it was pretty much a Venom and Eddie love story, and then Carnage was there, I guess. That's like, it's so funny. Kevin Smith described it as Venom Let There Be Carnage. Because we didn't really get much Carnage.
Yeah, we really didn't.
No, none.
Yeah, pretty much like pretty much almost done. I will say that one of the things that I did like like how Chris was saying that we didn't think we would like Dan's character. I thought it was fucking hilarious when Eddie slapped him in the car. I cried laughing. That was so funny.
Dan is a good guy, but he's also straight up a bitch. Him, right? Yeah, it's Venom.
Yeah,
the dude's also straight up a bitch. Because if I was like engaged to a girl and someone did that shit, I would, even if he had an alien symbiote in him, I would fight him.
Yeah.
Sam just now said Halloween buddy comedy. Yeah.
Yep.
Except there's a rave in the middle too. Which again, I like that scene.
That scene was fine.
I like that scene.
The rave, like, even if the scene was bad, him saying that he was out of the Eddie closet made the scene.
Dude, that whole speech was fucking amazing. And I will say, the second best actor in the movie was whoever that singer rapper was who reacted to what he was saying. She did a great job. I know. So I saw some people be like, "Oh, I fucking love her. I can't believe she was in the movie." I have no idea who it was, but I
don't know who it was.
I also only listen to metalcore and pop punk, so that's probably why. And John Mayer, so that's probably why I don't know who that is. It's just, dude. I have Gravity tattooed on my arm. It's not a joke. I love John Mayer.
Oh, shut the fuck
up. I swear to God.
I mean,
dude, I love that song.
I love John Mayer. Yeah.
That song, "Waiting on the World to Change," is a fucking bop, though. I will say that.
John Mayer is amazing. You heard it here first, guys.
He is. I won't lie.
Sam now said she's just on one tonight. Actually, is this movie just spooky goth Ted? Yes, but not as funny. Though it was way funnier. No, like Ted, like the movie with Mark Wahlberg and the bear.
Oh my fucking God! Yeah.
No.
Oh my God, that's even better though.
Yeah,
that is better.
Yeah. That movie is funnier though. But this movie was funny. I was surprised because the first one was funny, but this movie was almost a full out comedy.
Yeah.
And like these movies are at this point in time comedy.
Yeah.
I don't care though. I think it's fine.
Sam didn't know that Gravity was for John Mayer. Until just now. Well, you learn new things every day.
Something new every day.
Oh, she's driving home from work and listening, so that's why she's commenting on this.
Don't text while driving, Sam. What the fuck, man?
That seems reckless.
Don't chat while driving. What the fuck?
To be fair, she has like a brand new Forester, and those things basically drive themselves. It's fucking crazy.
Fair, yeah.
All right, fine.
They're wild. They're wild shit. So before we get into the post-credit scene, which it's what everyone has talked about from this movie, I want you guys to give us a rating out of 5. I'm interested to see what this is. All right, Billy, what do you got out of 5?
I give it like a 3.5, 4.
You give it a 4?
I honestly, I walked out of that movie with a smile on my face, being like, "That was fun." It's kind of like what you were saying. It's like
fair. I didn't have that much fun, to be honest. I had a little bit of fun. Most of it was disappointment and anger.
See, but that's the thing. That thing, like, we've talked about this.
Yes, I know.
Just like how people like what they like. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah,
for
sure.
I'm not saying you're like giving. Yeah, for me, I'm very easily entertained, even by a shitty movie. Now, there are some shitty movies out there that stay shitty. Cough, cough, Dragon Ball Evolution. Cough, cough, Last Airbender. But this, like, I just thought it was. I had fun. Like I said, I gave it 3.5 to a 4.
I mean, I'm not judging you. I'm just surprised that you gave it almost a 4. I'm surprised, not judging. Surprised. No judgment.
All right.
It was it was surprise. Chris, what would you give it out of 5?
Well, I mean, okay, so if whenever I look at a movie, I'm like, I can be objective.
Yeah, of course.
And I can also like the movie.
Yeah.
So there's 2 scores. There's 2 very different scores here. It's like how much I liked the movie and how good I thought the movie was. And this is, like, in my opinion, like a 1.5 to a 2 and how good the movie is. But I'll give it I loved it. I'll give it a 4.
Ooh!
Wow.
I walked out, like, stoked. I walked out, like, ready for the next one. The post-credit scene put me in a different mood.
Fair.
You know, like,
That's fair.
Exactly.
That's fair.
and I guess I'm weighing a little too heavily on the post-credit scene, and so maybe without the post-credit scene in there,
Oh yeah.
like let's maybe a 3, 4,
Yeah.
or a 3, 3.5.
Sam described it as, I think it was a good watch shit with your friends movie, which I agree with. We did see it with a group of friends, and it was. I'm not mad that I watched it. It just disappointed me. But I think I hold a lot of comic book movies at a higher level for the most part, but most of them I have fun with. But I had fun with the movie, but again, they did like mostly the Carnage killing people. I think that's what threw me off. It kicked me off the cliff of disappointment. That's what really killed me, because that's a big fucking waste. I
have two things I want to say. Number one, sorry I went off screen for a second. I had to let the cat out of the room. I didn't know it was a cat. Dude. Two, I'm on Chris's side here, that if the post-credit scene was not in this movie, I probably would have disliked it a lot more. It's kind of like, okay, I hate to tangent off, but it's kind of like how the standalone Star Wars movies were, or the spin-off Star Wars movies were, like Solo and Rogue One. Those movies were pretty okay until the end, and the end saved both of those movies for, in my opinion.
Rogue One is incredible.
I'm going to disagree.
Yeah, Rogue One is incredible.
No.
I like Rogue One a fucking lot. It's up there. But as far as, like, you know, the other Star Wars movies go, like,
the end pushes it to another level.
That's fair. That's fair.
To a whole nother level. And so I feel like if the post-credit scene was not in Venom Let There Be Carnage, I don't think this movie would have anybody saying they liked it.
Yeah.
To be completely honest.
So,
okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Dalmasca Gaming said I'd give it a solid 3 if I look at it legitimately, a 5 if I go off my hard-on for Tom Hardy. That's pretty good. Sam also said at least you stopped comparing everything to The Dark Knight. That's fair, but I do think Avengers Endgame is a better movie than Dark Knight. I said it. Deal with it. Then she also said, and she said, I love Rogue One. I said it before you, for the record, you. I don't know what she meant for that. Maybe the Avengers Endgame thing. Maybe, I don't know. But I would also,
that's a pretty hot take.
That's a hot take in my
if you rewatch The Dark Knight, it's still perfect. But if you watch like The Dark Knight and then you watch Avengers Endgame, I bet you'll like Avengers Endgame more. Or even Infinity War more. Because some people like those better.
The thing with Avengers Endgame is that was a culmination of 11 years of storytelling coming to fruition.
Still,
that's one thing.
Still.
I know, and I get it. But also, The Dark Knight is just a fucking incredible. Dude,
it's one of my favorite movies ever of all time.
When I worked at the theater during that movie, I don't know about Chris if you worked at the theater during that movie, but that movie was in my theater for like almost an entire year, like 9 months.
I saw it 4 times in theaters.
As did I. Dude, I saw it so many times.
I saw Endgame 3 though, and Infinity War 4. So I mean, I guess it's the same.
Yeah, but I mean, also I gotta. What are we comparing here? Because they're two completely different movies. One was directed by Christopher fucking Nolan.
Yeah.
You know, like, in my opinion, the greatest to ever do it. And
he's up there for sure.
I just the amount of practical effect and the lack of CGI and the story, and I just think it's I don't know why we're even comparing the two, but I gotta give
it was from what Sam said, because I used to compare everything to The Dark Knight. Now I don't anymore.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Here's the thing I will say about the Russo brothers, though, is that they, in my opinion, are like the Christopher Nolan, like, of the Marvel universe. Like, whereas, you know.
Yeah.
And what I love about the DCEU now is that Christopher Nolan is an executive producer on a lot of the Zack Snyder movies, for example.
Yeah. On all of them. On all of them. They're like best friends. Yeah.
Yeah.
Except maybe not anymore now that Warner Brothers pissed him off. He signed a new deal with Universal.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
And Zack Snyder isn't even Christopher Nolan.
He signed a deal with Universal.
Yeah, an exclusive deal with Universal.
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh,
Yeah.
fuck.
His new movie with Cillian Murphy is going to be a Universal movie, not Warner Brothers. They pissed him off with the
Shut
Tenet
the
stuff.
fuck
Wow.
up, dude.
Mhm.
Cillian Murphy's
I
gonna
didn't
be in
know
the
that.
next Nolan movie. Let's go, dude.
Yeah,
Yes.
and today reportedly came out that Emily Blunt might be the co-star.
Oh, let's fucking go, dude.
Yeah.
Is it gonna be A Quiet Place Part 3? Because it's pretty much like.
No, it's about this dude who made like the atomic bomb or something like that.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yes, dude. That's gonna be so good.
Yeah, I love
so
I love Christopher Nolan.
He's incredible, man.
Yeah, he's amazing. I love Tenet was my favorite movie last year.
I was gonna say, before we started the chat, I wonder if the reason why Hans Zimmer couldn't do Tenet was because he was doing Dune.
It's very possible.
That is absolutely it's confirmed.
Yeah, I will say that
That's
Ludwig
confirmed.
Göransson's score for Tenet was fucking incredible, though.
It was incredible. It was amazing.
Wow. Don't Mask Gaming. Way to ruin a Christopher Nolan movie. Add Emily Blunt. Emily Blunt is fucking badass. Live Die Repeat is fucking dope.
Emily Blunt
Straight
takes it.
up!
And A Quiet Place Part 1 and
up.
2 are amazing. Incredible
Let's
movies.
go, dude. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I love both.
Okay, so we're gonna talk about we're gonna talk about the most important part of this movie, the post-credit scene. And actually, I want to start with this post-credit scene did not surprise me, and this is why. Because everyone was like, the post-credit scene is mind-blowing, and to me, I'm like, well, he's in the MCU. It's something to do with Spider-Man.
Mhm.
So once that happened, I was like, cool, but I thought it was going to be crazier. Because people are like, you're not ready for the post-credit scene. And I'm like, okay, is it going to be wild?
Yeah, but you saying that gets me ready for the post-credit scene.
Yeah.
Fair.
You know?
I
Leave
overhyped
alone.
it. I overhyped it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Like people like telling you over and over again how good the post-credit scene is, even if they're not really spoiling anything, they're still spoiling something. you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Sam said,
It's like-
so it's different with a Marvel movie. When you said, oh, the post-credit scene is amazing, because it could literally mean anything. But for a Venom
Yeah.
movie, what the fuck else would it be that would be exciting? Nothing. There's
Yeah.
nothing
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
I for some reason in my mind thought it had to do with like Andrew Garfield showed up or something. Like
Oh,
something like
that would've-
something
that
like
would've been-
crazy.
That would have been really.
You know what I
cool
mean? Like
having-
Yeah.
Tom Holland doesn't even show up, but it's like Andrew Garfield or something. I
Oh,
would have been
that
like, what the
would-
fuck is going on? Or something like
Yeah.
that. But Sam said the post-credit scene was lukewarm. Fuck the post-credit scene too. That's what she said. She said, I will say, I feel like newbies hyped it up because they are all newer to the world. I saw like people who their job, like they're YouTubers or whatever that do only Marvel were like, you're not ready for it.
Mm,
And stuff like that.
okay.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
whack. That would make that. Yeah, it's a spoiler in itself.
Yeah, I wish just
Yeah.
people say there's a post-credit scene and that's it.
See, for me, I heard nothing about the post-credit scene before I saw it. Like, you know, even when it was reported that like Spider-Man like was gonna be in the movie, I was like, no, it's fucking not. That's impossible. Like, it's not gonna happen. There's no way. So when when the post-credit scene showed up, like I was getting ready for something crazy, but
Yeah.
I just didn't know what it was. And then when that flashing light went through, I was like, oh shit, no
Oh,
fucking
I know
way.
where we're going. Yeah.
Yeah.
I do want to bring up that in the Kevin Feige just revealed that they worked Marvel Studios and Sony worked hand in hand with the post-credit scene. So that needs to be said. He confirmed that on the Eternals premiere blue carpet as it was. But when it was happening, the way the hotel room warps seems to be, and I don't know if this is confirmed, but to me it looked like the same warping that happened in WandaVision. Like how
That's
shit
exactly
warps
what I thought.
throughout WandaVision.
That's exactly what I thought. Too.
And then the yellow light also looked similar to the yellow light magic that Strange was doing in that spell that we
Yes.
see in the trailer for No Way Home.
Mhm.
That's exactly it.
Yeah.
Those are two very, very big,
Yeah.
things to bring
What-
up.
The thing that really made me think is right before it happens, he's saying,
Yes.
like the symbiotes have seen corners of other universes. So when it started to happen, I was thinking like maybe he's showing Eddie. Like maybe he's showing Eddie what he's seen in another universe, and like
oh,
I thought that was coming too.
And that would give them a reason to like for Venom to not really be in the MCU, but in the Venom movies for him to be in the MCU, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Yes.
Like he'll be in this universe because that's where he was when this all took place. Like he's seen this all happen before, but we just haven't seen it yet.
Yeah. That's
Like
a good
that's where it feels
that,
like we're going
I'm
to be.
glad you brought that up, because what he was saying about like the hive mind and stuff, it could lead to Null, which happened in the Donny Cates run. He's like the god of the symbiotes. He's fucking crazy. And if they do lead to that, which would be kind of cool if it's in the right hands, of course. But the stuff he was saying before the room warped is very interesting, and I hope they dive into that more.
I hope so too.
I guess the big question is Venom in Spider-Man No Way Home? That's the big question.
I don't think so. I'm going to be completely honest. I don't think he'll be in it. And if he is going to be in it, it's going to be for a very short amount of time leading up as like a setup for maybe the next Spider-Man movie that comes out afterwards. But however, Tom Holland did say, or I think Tom Holland or somebody from Marvel said that Spider-Man No Way Home is one of the most ambitious Marvel films. So that could mean, but it's kind of like, I look at it like Spider-Man 3, for example, had 3 different villains in it. The Sam Raimi one, you know, it had Venom. I know. It had Sandman, it had Venom, and it had fucking, and then it had fucking, oh my God, fucking Hobgoblin. And I was like, okay, but who gives a fuck about Sandman? Give us Venom or the Hobgoblin, that's fine.
Hey,
I think with this one,
I gave a fuck about Sandman. That story arc was actually good. It was like one of the only good parts of that movie.
That story arc was good. I'll give you that.
All right, fine, fair enough.
Absolutely.
All right, that's fine. So, but what I'm saying is, it's like this is going to be the opposite of that. Like people are going to want there to be tons and tons of Spider-Man villains in this one, and probably a lot of people are going to be disappointed in it if Venom is not in it. If Andrew Garfield or fucking Tobey Maguire don't show up in it, I think people are going to be the hype for No Way Home is super real. So I think people are going to hope that he's going to be in. I'm hoping he is. That Venom is going to be in No Way Home. But if he's not, I'm also not going to be disappointed because I'm like, well, I mean, that's just like, it's too much, but also at the same time, if it happened, I'd be okay with it.
We're going to get a lot in that movie.
See a post-credit scene.
That would be
a post-credit scene.
That would be a dope. That would be a dope post-credit scene.
That'd be a great post-credit scene. Absolutely, yeah. So like I said, even if it is just like for a split second, like a post-credit scene or whatever, like that'd be pretty cool. I'd be fine with it.
Just the acknowledgement would be cool.
Yeah.
I mean, we didn't really talk about it, but like the cop, Detective Mulligan.
Yes.
In the movie, he's like they were introducing Toxin, right? Is that what that was?
Maybe, but he had the same glow in his eyes as Shriek, which was weird.
Yeah.
So why would that make him get a symbiote? Does he have to just bite Tom Hardy's hand and then he gets his own?
I guess so.
I would like if he became Toxin. That would be cool because and that's a hard.
He's a hero, right? Toxin's not a.
I think it's kind of
villain.
like a Venom thing, where it's not.
Yeah. Okay.
It's just there's only so much more you can do with Venom by himself, and I think that's why they're leading to this Tom Holland this Tom Holland thing for sure. But where do they go after that? Like I just hope. I know a lot of people, and this is going to talk about No Way Home in a little bit too. A lot of people are in one or two minds that it's going to end and Tom Holland's going to stay in the Sony universe, or it's going to end and he continues on in the MCU, which what I'm hoping for. But if Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire are in this Spider-Man No Way Home, then we can do a thing where Tom Holland stays in the MCU and then Sony could even take one of them and continue on their movies in their own universe. They could do a Spider-Man 4, they could do an Amazing Spider-Man 3 or something like that. So it would be nice to see that happen. That's what I would like to happen because I want to see Tom Holland continue on. Can you guys still hear me? Whoa, what happened?
Yes.
I don't know. I can hear Billy, but I can't see him.
Yeah, you just stopped talking.
Oh, that was weird. It must have been an internet thing. Oh, there's Billy. Hi, Billy.
Hello.
But what I was saying is, I want to see this dude play Spider-Man for pretty much ever, because there's so much, because we haven't really gotten the biggest complaint about Spider-Man in the MCU is we haven't got friendly neighborhood Spider-Man MCU.
Yeah.
So I do hope we do get that eventually, but I have loved I think he's the best Spider-Man to me. Best Peter Parker. He is encapsulated. But maybe the Spider-Man 4 has to do with Venom in New York City. Maybe. I guess we'll have to see how No Way Home pans out. And you were right, Billy. Tom Holland did say it was the most ambitious solo superhero movie of all time. And and then Benedict Cumberbatch went on to say that yes, it is, until Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Which makes sense.
Yeah, which totally. That movie's gonna fucking probably blow people's minds. I think that I honestly think like going forward when it comes to Spider-Man, I agree. Tom Holland should be him for the foreseeable future until he decides he doesn't want to anymore. But like, if they decided to do more Andrew Garfield movies or more Tobey Maguire movies, like I wouldn't be opposed to that either. However, Tobey Maguire is a little bit old now. Andrew Garfield's still, relatively young. But I think we should just keep it with just with the MCU version that we have. I think going forward that would be the best plan because Tom Holland's still really young,
Yeah. I guess it depends how this other stuff factors in, like Morbius.
Yeah.
We saw Vulture in Morbius.
Yeah, where the fuck is
I have a feeling
connected? Like.
Sinister Six, we're headed there. I mean, that without a doubt. But
yeah,
I think so too. I think that when it comes to like Morbius having Adrian, so dude, I kind of wish that the trailer didn't show Adrian Toomes in it, but then again,
it's speculation. It's speculation.
Yeah, right. It is. But at the same time, it's like you have to entice people to want to go see the movie. Now, when I heard that they were making a Morbius movie, I go, "Who the fuck wants to see that?" And then when the trailer came out, I'm like, "All right, let's watch the trailer."
It looks pretty cool. It looks pretty cool.
It looks
honestly.
cool.
Yeah.
It does look cool. But add on the fact that you have fucking Michael Keaton showing up in that last frame of the trailer. You're like, "Yo, what the fuck?"
Yeah.
Like, that now that doesn't necessarily mean that it could. What it could mean is that probably Marvel is allowing Sony to use some of the characters in the Sony movies, but Sony is probably like, "But can we use some of your characters in our movies?" And they're probably like, "No, not yet." And then
I just want Sony to go, "Hey, we're doing the same deal we did with Spider-Man with everything, 50-50, but you have creative control." That's what I want. That's why a lot of people are against that because they want the different flavor of movies that kind of like that a movie like Venom it exists and stuff. But for me, I'm like, yo, just keep all of Marvel in Marvel.
Yes, because my friend Joel, who is a fellow pop culture nerd podcaster himself, me and him talked about like why he dislikes the Sony Spider-Mans more than the Marvel Spider-Mans, and he just was like, the writing is better in the MCU versions.
1000%.
It's like everything that is done in the MCU is miles better than the Sony films, which I agree with, but I still enjoy the Sony films.
Yeah,
I think
Sony's the Andrew Garfield ones, right?
And Tobey Maguire.
And Tobey Maguire.
And Tobey Maguire, that was Sony too?
Yeah,
it's Columbia Pictures, but it's a
Columbia Pictures. Got it. Yeah,
it's a Sony company though. Yeah.
Guess who was a producer on the
Everything
Raimi
except for
trilogy?
Gwen Stacy.
Guess who was a producer on the Raimi trilogy? Just guess.
An executive producer on the Raimi trilogy? I don't know.
Kevin Feige.
Oh shit!
That rocks.
That's cool.
He's not listed on Spider-Man 1, but he actually was. But he is in the credits for Spider-Man 2 and 3.
That's so cool.
As a producer.
Oh yeah, so he's been at.
Oh, dude, he's been in the Marvel world for a long ass time. I did want to say, Sam did say, so this is a funny story. We saw Shang-Chi in 4D, and it I recommend it, but not for a Marvel movie because it's like a fucking roller coaster and it's really hard to pay attention.
Yeah, it's distracting. Yeah.
So she said, I will not be seeing it in 4D, but Doctor Strange is her most anticipated.
Oh, straight up.
I'm wondering if that's her most anticipated movie overall or just Marvel. That's what I'm wondering. Maybe I'll see if she comes back.
I'm gonna go on a limb here and say that Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness is gonna be like Endgame level hype.
1,000%.
I honestly think it is.
Yep.
I think
yeah.
No Way Home is an Infinity War / Endgame hype because of the hype that's around it right now. And then Doctor Strange 2 is gonna be miles.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that comparison. Honestly,
I think so.
That's a really good comparison.
Personally, that's what I believe.
Yeah.
I
mean, yeah, it's like the multiverse trilogy has been WandaVision, Spider-Man, Doctor Strange.
Yeah, I don't think
Loki kind of in there.
Yeah, Loki.
A little bit.
I don't think it's gonna make as like these movies. I think these movies combined will make great money, but it's not gonna beat out Endgame. It's not gonna be like a $3 billion.
They'll be $1 billion movies. I think Spider-Man
movies.
No Way Home will be the first movie to make $1 billion since I don't know if Rise of Skywalker probably made $1 billion, maybe not, but since the last movie that made $1 billion, so I think Spider-Man Home will be the next one.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Rise of Skywalker did, but I mean, like, it is COVID time still. But I think when it comes to, unless Disney Plus, which I highly doubt they'll do the premiere access for Spider-Man and for fucking Doctor Strange.
They can't anyway.
They can't.
They can't for Spider-Man. I don't think they can.
No, they can't for Spider-Man, but they can for Doctor Strange.
They won't. They didn't do it with Shang-Chi. They didn't do it with Eternals, or they're not doing it with Eternals.
Right. But there's no way they will do it. But like, if the off chance they did do it, because didn't they do it with Black Widow, right?
It's the only one, yeah. Only Marvel movie they did it with.
Yeah, so far. So if they end up doing that, which I know that they won't do, I think a lot of people who want to go see these movies in theaters will go and see them in the theaters. It's going to be a while for them to reach that $1 billion mark, but I think enough people will be willing to go to the theaters and see these movies.
Yeah,
I think so.
100%. So Sam did clarify. She said, "I think overall, but I have no memory, and you talk too much, so I never know what's coming out this year or in 2075," which is fair. And it's next year. It's next May now. They move it back to May. My overall, well, actually, I'll ask this after what your overall anticipated movie is for, I guess, the foreseeable future. But she did say, "What's Dune gonna do money wise?" I did not talk about Dune. So Dune has already made over $100 million overseas because it opened up in the UK like a fucking month ago, and it's already opened in overseas markets, so it's already killing or doing very well. I don't know if I could say killing. I would say killing, especially in these times. It's already made over 100 million, and it's tracking to make 70 million opening weekend, which is very, very good. So hopefully that lends that, plus with the HBO Max numbers, because it is day and date with HBO Max. It's going to be one of the last ones with HBO Max. They still have a few more left in the calendar, of course, for this year before they switch over. But I'm hoping, because I know if this is a spoiler for Dune, sorry, but it's supposed to be a part 1 and part 2. So I'm guessing.
I heard that too.
I'm guessing it ends in a cliffhanger. Spoiler, I guess. But if you've watched any reactions or non-spoiler reviews, pretty much everyone has said that. That's kind of been. I do not think Dune will make $1 billion, Sam. I don't think so.
No, it won't.
I think it might go into like the 500 million mark. She asked what's left for HBO Max. I know that Will Smith movie where he's Serena and Venus Williams, King Richard.
King Richard.
And The Matrix.
The Matrix, and there might be another one, another smaller movie, but The Matrix I think is the last like big one.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
there might be another one. So
what
were you gonna say, Billy?
Oh no, I was just gonna say, like, I think that Dune is gonna make a good amount of money. I think they're gonna recoup all of they're going to recoup their earnings and all that, but I don't think it's going to be as big as we anticipated because of the HBO Max subscriptions. As
long as it does well in both, it'll get renewed for the second part, I think.
Yeah. I think enough people. I mean, like, that movie looks so epic. I mean, I think it's going to do well at box office. I think it's going to do well box office numbers wise, but I think to the point that I'm making, where some people are willing to go to the theater to watch certain movies, it's not that I don't think people will go to the theater and watch Dune. I absolutely will go watch Dune in the theater. But I think some people, the casual goer, will look on their HBO Max and be like, "Oh, I wanted to see that movie, but I don't want to go to the theater to see it, and they'll watch it at home." And I don't know how many people are compared to theater goers to not theater goers, but we always have to take into account to that. But I think it will definitely make a fucking good heap of money for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
And I wasn't thinking about No Way Home coming out for the holidays.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I totally forgot it was coming out right before Christmas. So I could see that breaking $1 billion for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%.
Big movie time.
Breaking $1 billion.
Oh yeah. The Christmas time at the movie theaters is easily the busiest time. Busiest time of year.
One of them, yeah.
And like
absolutely.
Memorial Day weekend too, but yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to end the show tonight in our most anticipated movie coming up. So this is going to be at no shock to anyone who knows me, but it's the
I already know what it is.
It's the Batman.
Oh,
it's the Batman.
Yep.
Oh, just like in general.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like upcoming. If it was
fuck.
this year, it's so hard because
I think this year for me is Spider-Man.
It's either Spider-Man or The
For
Matrix or maybe Dune. I don't know. I can't pick.
I'm honestly really, really, really skeptical of The Matrix. I'm looking forward to it, but I just don't have high hopes for The Matrix. I'm setting my bar low on that one.
That's fair.
I want it to be good. I want it to be good, but I also don't want to like.
That trailer was tight though.
Mm-hmm.
It was.
The trailer's very good.
It was.
The warm tones with like the cool blue tones from the originals were so neat.
So dope.
Yeah. I feel like it's gonna be so meta and weird.
Oh, it's gonna be very meta.
Like I can't wait. I can't wait. I love Keanu Reeves.
But I think my most anticipated movie coming up, I'm on board with the Batman as well. I think that is going to be also like Endgame level hype. I think that movie's going to break $1 billion. I think that movie's going to break $1 billion
easily,
very quickly, very quickly,
very, very quickly.
Sam said, "Low bar means less disappointment."
Exactly.
She goes, "That's my actual life motto." That makes me feel kind of terrible about myself.
I want to quote a line from the movie Dodgeball, a true underdog story, said by Vince Vaughn. He says, and I'm paraphrasing here, he says, "I found that if you never have a goal in life, then you will never be disappointed. And I gotta tell you, it feels great."
That's a great movie.
It is a great movie. And I saw that movie in sophomore year of high school. And when I heard him say that, 15-year-old me was like, that's a fucking great life motto. I'm living by that.
Was that your yearbook quote?
No, it was not. Fuck, it should have
been. Missed opportunity there, man.
Very missed opportunity. I was a heavy scene kid back in the day, and I don't remember what my senior quote was, but it was definitely an emo kid lyric.
Mine was probably like a From Autumn to Ashes lyric or something. Yeah.
I think mine was Secondhand Serenade or some shit. So.
Yo, Secondhand Serenade is about to go on a tour.
There we go.
Yeah, I saw that.
In the year 2021.
That's wild.
Wild times.
Chris, what's your most anticipated movie then?
Wait, it's like Sam said he also said dip, dive, duck, and dodge or something.
Dodge, dip, duck, dive, and dodge. Yeah.
Oh my god. Sorry, Chris.
That movie is unbelievably quotable. No, it's all good. Honestly, I think just because of like personal reasons, I'm gonna go with Scream.
Ooh, dude,
it looks good.
Scream is easily my favorite horror franchise, and I am
my favorite franchise.
So hyped for Scream 5.
Yeah.
Or Scream as it's titled. I cannot wait for that fucking movie. And that trailer was awesome.
Yeah.
I hope the killer is somehow Matthew Lillard coming back and he didn't die.
Oh shit, that would be cool.
He's been teasing it online too. That fucker.
Do you guys?
Conspiracies are cool.
I think Sean, you were talking about. You think it's Jack Quaid, huh?
He might be one. He's looking very killer, which could be to throw us off. But
yeah, I was gonna say, like in the trailer, he's like fighting off Ghostface, and I was like, oh, but that's that version.
There's always two. Always two.
Yeah. Always two.
I'm hoping in this one, it's like a squad.
It probably is.
There was always two.
Because there was always two in it.
There was always two killers.
Not in 2 and 3 there were at least, because in 2 it was.
Oh, in 3 there was.
In 3 there was 2, right?
In 3 there was one.
Brother.
Yeah.
3 there was one.
This is one thing
of the Stab franchise.
3 was Timothy Oliphant, wasn't it?
No,
that was 2.
That was 2.
2 and the mom. Billy's mom.
Billy Loomis' mom. Yeah, who was 3 then?
It was the director of the Stab franchise. Roman
Oh
Pritchard.
yeah, that's right. God, fuck.
Her long lost brother
Yeah.
that we didn't know about until the end scene.
4 was
Yeah,
Emma
honestly.
Roberts, wasn't it?
And another high schooler.
Kieran Culkin.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right.
I loved 4. I thought 4 was fucking
The 4 was
fantastic.
great.
I just rewatched it like 2 weeks ago, and it was fun as fuck.
I'm gonna rewatch
Yeah.
them all again very soon too.
I did that. I did went through 3 like a month or 2 ago, and it was amazing. It was great. It was
Yeah.
great. That's
So
what
good.
Yeah, I just
the
just saw
only
25th
way.
anniversary.
Ooh, the only way Scream
Yeah.
5 will let me down
good.
if it's somehow a relative of Sydney. That will piss me off so much.
Oh yeah.
They
I
did it
think
2
it's- I
movies
think
in a
you're more
row.
likely to see.
Please
Yeah.
no. Just don't do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
I
Especially
think you're more likely to see a relative of either Billy or Stu
Ooh, yes.
Yeah.
I like
in the
that.
original.
I like that.
I think that it's in.
Hey, what if it's
Kids.
Jamie Kennedy? How much of a
that dude is dead. He is dead as fuck. That would be
He's
wild
more
though.
dead than anybody. Yeah.
What if, dude? Come on.
That would honestly be a
Oh,
crazier
God.
twist than Matthew Lillard.
Yeah, that would be a
Like,
crazy twist.
especially with 3, they had the video of him giving more rules.
I know.
The trilogy
Yeah.
ending rules. He could do like a reboot rule, or even if we get
Exactly.
another,
Yeah.
if they bring like a thumb drive, like his sister comes and brings a thumb drive, and they're like,
Yeah.
"Here
Like a
you go,"
floppy
and
disk.
it's him talking about reboots or something. That would be
You know
that would be
that's
pretty
gonna
good.
be part of it, dude. It has to be. It has to be. That'd be so great.
That would be good. Sam brought up that her yearbook quote was "It's because I'm Asian," which she is Asian.
Holy shit! Holy shit! That rocks.
That's great.
That's
good.
And then Del Masca Gaming said it was the used song, a chorus to a used song, which is cool. I love the
Nice.
used. I'm a big used
I think-
used fan.
I think I left mine blank, which is probably the first time I ever shut the fuck up.
I think mine was
From,
like
being a prick in high school.
Gotta Catch 'Em All or something really stupid.
Oh, that
That's
rocks.
good.
Opportunities, gotta catch them all.
Gotta catch them all.
I probably
That's
didn't even think of it that deep either. It was probably just very surface level. I like Pokemon, and that's all I got.
Yeah.
It is what it is. But thank you guys so much for doing this. This was a blast. We
Oh,
got
so
Yeah, I had a
fun,
great
dude.
time.
we got off the
Yeah.
rails, but I love this show when I get off the rails. It's the best.
Oh yeah, so much fun, dude.
If you ever want to get off the rails, invite your boy.
You know who to call.
I'll take you there.
It's my favorite destination in the podcast world.
Let's
off the
fucking
rails.
Go, dude. Let's fucking go. You
Off the
should
rails.
call. You should have another podcast called Off the Rails, and it's just us 3 every episode.
Yeah.
Man,
Yeah, and we'll start talking about one thing and see
And
where
just
it
Yeah.
takes us.
fucking yeah, dude.
Yeah.
we will end in a different universe. That is for sure.
Let's go, dude. I'm down.
That is for sure. So Sam said keep talking, but unless you guys
I
want to
know.
bring something up, I don't know what else to bring up.
I don't know
I don't
what
know
else
what to bring up.
either. We pretty much covered everything that we possibly could have.
We talked about Scream.
and some.
Okay. Here's one thing. Did you
We
guys
talked about
see?
Scream. There was
did-
no way I was getting off this call without talking about Scream.
Yeah, I'm for. I love Scream. I guess here, one thing. Someone said get into the new Ice Nine Kills album. I have not listened to it, so I have nothing to add.
haven't
I'm not a big Ice Nine Kills fan personally, so sorry.
Uh,
No
I
offense
think
to them.
they're all
A
right.
lot
I
of
like it.
people like them a lot, which is fine
I
by
think-
me.
I
I like a
think
lot of
they
terrible. I have a John Mayer tattoo. I have no room to say anything. They're just not my thing. I used to love Ice Nine Kills when they sound like Senses Fail.
yeah.
Yeah.
You can look up that old
Yeah.
shit. It's tight. They also used to be a ska band before that. Very weird. Very strange.
What?
Yeah, they were like a ska band. It was very weird. And then they became a
I
Senses Fail band, and now they are what they are.
Now they're like
Posers.
Posers! Damn,
They
dude.
put it-
Good.
They left ska. Unbelievable.
They left ska a long time ago.
Dude,
long
I still
time.
listen to
Probably
long
when they
ska.
should have. Yeah.
I still listen to ska nowadays. I love it. I don't give a fuck.
It's fun. It's
Fine.
fun.
Yeah, I like some ska.
It's
I like
fun.
some
I
ska.
I just like how almost every Ice Nine Kills album for the past like 2 records are all horror movie like
It's their thing.
themed.
It's their shtick.
You know, Spencer Charnas is like a huge he literally like recorded vocals like in the Halloween house or something like that for one of their songs to
Sick.
get that. Yeah,
That
I
is
think
cool.
Lead singer syndrome. Yeah, I think it's the Lead Singer Syndrome
Oh,
podcast,
okay.
which is hosted by Shane
Cool.
from Silverstein.
Yep.
If you go back and look up Spencer Torres, I think when they were talking, Spencer was like, "Yeah, I went to like the Halloween house. I went to this house. I went to like." He said he went to like a bunch of actual like haunted locations to record his vocals for certain songs to get to match the vibe of the song. And I'm like, that's fucking sweet. So
That's sick.
Yeah.
Sam,
love
Sam
that.
for I don't think Chris, I don't know if you know this, but Sam is a manager of Hot Topic. She said, "Why isn't Iceland Kills on display?" And I'm guessing she means on display for Hot Topic for horror. It's a very good question. I feel like they should they
that
should
is
have.
a good
I
question.
feel like they should have capitalized on that for sure.
Yeah,
So
definitely
I guess one last thing. If you guys are fine with me keeping you a little longer.
Of course, absolutely.
Unless you got to go. So, did you guys see the Eternals reactions? The first we talked about a little about the spoiler aspect
I'm
of
not
it.
watching anything.
No, I'm not watching anything.
I don't know anything about it until
Fair
I
enough.
walk in.
No one really said anything
See, here's my thing.
other than their opinions, and that's it. Nothing about the movie, really, just what they liked. So that's about it.
Here's my thing going into the Eternals. I did the same thing kind of with Shang-Chi. I didn't really I know nothing about the Eternals. I know nothing about the storyline. I know nothing about it. So I want to go into it as fresh as possible. So when I went and saw Shang-Chi, there was the official trailer for the Eternals. And I was like, fuck, I don't want to watch this trailer because I want to go into it knowing nothing. Because I did that with Shang-Chi and I loved it. So with the Eternals, I was like, fuck it, whatever, I'm here, I might as well just watch it. And seeing that trailer, I was like, holy fuck, this movie looks good. So
Chloe Zhao, man.
Yeah.
Like blow it out of the water.
And fucking like I was already stoked on the cast, like, fucking Kit Harington, fucking Richard Madden, Kumail Nanjiani, Angelina Jolie, Salma Hayek, like what the fuck? Like
the cast is probably the biggest Marvel cast ever.
Probably.
Absolutely.
Massive.
I think so.
Absolutely. Because like stars came from Marvel, but like
the
stars didn't go to Marvel until
down the road.
Like,
yeah.
So like that, for example, like that's like why I'm looking forward to Eternals so much, just based off that trailer alone. I was just very like, again, I know nothing else. I know nothing of the story. I know nothing of the characters. I don't know where they come from. Nothing. So that's like why I'm super excited for it. But I have not seen any reactions, and I'm not going to be looking any up at all whatsoever.
Sam is here.
Kat Dennings, what's up?
Sam, everyone.
So
Hi, Sam.
Asking why
what?
they were on display.
What were you asking?
You missed the part where I said their moms used to bully me in Rochester Hot Topic.
Oh.
What?
Which is a much better story.
That is a very good story, actually.
Wait, say that. What was that?
When she used to work in Rochester, at the Hot Topic there, and the moms used to come in there and bully her that their shirts were on display. I remember you telling me this now. So they'd be like, what? Wait, what?
I was like, why would I care that their shirts are on display? I can do what I want.
So Ice Nine Kills tidbit there. Fun stuff.
Funny.
And that's fair about the Eternals. I guess the consensus is that it's a very dense movie, which makes me, and very unlike Marvel, which makes me more excited for it.
I'm surprised you didn't
way more excited. Give me something different, man.
I'm all about it. Like,
yeah, that's been my favorite part about Phase 4 for the most part, is they've given us a lot of things that aren't very MCU.
Changing up
like,
the formula.
They have MCU stuff in it, of course, but like WandaVision, nothing like they've ever done. Even Loki, very sci-fi weird.
I love Loki.
Even Shang-Chi, definitely not a normal. I mean, it had like the Marvel formula, but it felt very different than a normal Marvel movie.
Oh yeah, and that's why I love that movie so much, was because it didn't feel like, I literally at one point said, like, I can't believe this is a Marvel movie. It doesn't even like one, feel like one even.
Yeah, nothing did. Like the entire time, I didn't once think that I was in a Marvel movie.
Yeah.
Like I didn't once have that internal thought.
Yeah. Same. Well,
it's just it's like a crazy fantasy movie or fantasy martial arts movie that just happened to be in the Marvel universe.
That's what I kind of thought about Loki too. Like, even though like Loki is like almost the most Marvel stuff possible, there was certain points where I'm like,
so different.
I can't believe it.
Yeah,
this is so different from what I'm used to. Yeah,
that's why I'm very stoked to see Dune tomorrow, and then Eternals in a few weeks, to have the full just like crazy sci-fi dramas. That's all I want it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
I want it.
And we get to see Zendaya before Spider-Man as well.
Oh yeah, we get 2 Zendaya movies in
Yeah.
like a 2-month span. Weird.
I have the hugest crush on Zendaya, dude. I want to marry that girl, man.
Well, you have to fight Tom Holland, I think.
I'll fucking fight him, dude. I don't give a fuck.
Tom Holland.
He'd whoop my ass. He would.
He'd whoop my ass.
Of course he would.
He has to.
Yeah, he would do like a
He's
cartwheel and like
Spider-Man.
kick you in the
Uncharted
face.
now, too.
Yeah,
he
yeah,
would.
yeah. All right, guys. So
Yeah,
before we get out of here,
Yeah.
do you guys have anything you want to plug? Billy, do you have anything to plug? Plug away.
Yeah, just my podcast called Enjoy the Show, the Enjoy the Show podcast. Follow us on Instagram at Enjoy the Show podcast. Sean, as he mentioned, was featured on there last week when we talked about Ted Lasso. That was so much fucking fun. Have to have you on there again another time. Other than that, that's about it for me.
What about you, Chris? I know you have something to plug.
Oh, always something to plug, man. No, the band Nominee, we just put out a new full length. It's called Low Life. We sat on it for 2 years because of the pandemic, and now it's finally out. So we're just like
Hell yeah.
stoked to finally have the songs out. It's out on Smart Punk. You can find it everywhere.
It's very good.
We're gonna be touring a little bit. So we'll see hopefully some of y'all soon.
You said it was not Nominee. Spelled as it is? Okay.
Yes.
I'm gonna look it up
It's
now.
very good. They're very good, Billy. You'll like them.
Great. Here we are. Gotcha.
Thanks.
Let's go.
Cheers, Sean. Yeah, man, this was fun. Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah, dude. Seriously, this was very, very fun. Thank you.
No problem. I'm glad you guys have it. Sam, what'd you say?
You could plug it. The family's doing a My Hero.
Kat Dennings, what'd you say?
You have no choice.
Oh, I guess when I get back from vacation, we're doing a My Hero episode about the new movie
Like,
with
all of us.
with my crew. I don't know how I'm going to do that logistically with equipment, but we'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out. So you heard it here first. I did a My Hero episode like a year and a half ago with Blake
Nice.
Hardman, and I guess we're gonna do it with our home squad, and we're gonna do a My Hero episode. It's gonna be weird. Yeah, they are the crew we go see movies with, so I guess it makes sense.
They're the people we get to argue with first.
It's true. It's
Yeah,
the people
in
we get to
real
argue with
time.
first. Yes, right out of the theater arguments. That's where
Yeah.
it takes place.
Yeah, y'all know Dom, right? Dom Macias. He's
Yes.
in the group. Yeah.
Yeah.
Him and I argue about everything. We argue about
That dude
everything.
rules. I love that dude.
I
That
do
guy-
love me some Dom.
That guy booked a couple of shows that my old band played in Texas a couple years ago.
No
He,
shit.
Oh.
he booked a house show for us. It was the tour, one of the tours that you booked for us, Sean. When we did the tour with Modern Color and Vessels, we played a house
Yes.
show that he booked, and then we went to Texas at the end of 2018, and I forgot where he booked us. I forgot where, but he booked us at another show. That kid's really cool.
Yeah, he's
Hell
the
yeah.
best.
Hell yeah. One more thing. Delmasca Gaming said, I'm happy you all exist. Entertaining. I wish you all the best. Thank you so much for
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
tuning in and commenting all night. Very cool of you.
Thank you.
Very cool of you. So that's it for this one. Actually, Sam and I are leaving for vacation next week, but I'm recording an episode for next week on Friday about DC fandom. So I'm going to be covering all of that shit. The week after,
Nice.
I will probably not have an episode because I will be getting back from vacation at the end of the week. But I will be on this podcast called the Paperweight Entertainment Podcast talking about Titan Season 3. So if you think I like everything, you can listen to this and then listen to that and then realize that I don't. So
Two things.
That's good.
thank you guys very much. And until next time,
Thank you.
see you later, nerds.
All right.